Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk about two selectors. One is the paid selector and another is the portrait selector. But here is first some disclaimer. For the paid selector, I excluded unit that can be obtained from Mercuria selector. I excluded Recoleta from the discussion because when I talk about some unit to prioritize, I talk about the current meta. And the current meta I consider is Ezio with its 3 different builds and Impromptu, Nautica, Bloodtithe, as well as Lucy Dynamo. But just for a quick discussion here, for Recoleta, the team is Melania and Pickles, and later coming in the next batch is Moldier. And Melania and Pickles can be obtained from not the Euphoria banner, I'm sorry, but the Euphoria selector. Okay, so you can get either one of them from the Euphoria selector. And let's say if you get Melania from the selector, then you can get Pickles from the paid selector if you want to. But that is if only you have the resources to get all the other characters to complete like Nautica's team or Dynamo team. Because if you have a choice, I'd rather you focus on the new meta rather than the old meta. For the portrait selector, I'm not covering P5, only up to P2. I split the priority on what portrait to get based on 2 conditions. First is if the portrait can help you to make the rotation better. So that is the priority. And then the second one, let's say if you are not too concerned about the rotation and you just further want to enhance the new meta team. So I split into that different meta team and which character that you want to get the portrait to enhance that team. Alright, so with that, let's talk about the paid selector first. So this is a mind map that I have made for you. My recommendation, first of all, choose the character that can fit into many teams. So it will be more flexible for you to form a team and easier to play the game. And basically you can have more fun because you have different teams to play with. So you can check, like let's say Flutterpage, she is linked to Nautica, she is linked to Ezio, she can be linked to Lucy, and she also can be linked to Impromptu, making her one of the best unit to get due to her versatility. Like everyone just need Flutterpage. Apart from Flutterpage, another very versatile unit is Mercuria, where you can link it to Marcus, Lucy, and Impromptu. While Mercuria may not be the core member for Ezio, she can work with Ezio as well, making Mercuria one of the better units to choose. So with FP and Mercuria out of the way, the next one to talk about here is Tuesday and Barcarola. So at the moment, Tuesday is only for Poison Ezio meta, right? And then Barcarola if you want to start playing Impromptu. However, they are rather limited in the team that you can put them with. So only pick Tuesday or Barcarola if you really like that playstyle or you already have most of the other team completed. Like, oh, Nautica, I already have Flutterpage, I already have Fatutu. So there is not much for me to pick. So now I just pick Tuesday. Well, that is totally fine. But if you have a limited roster, again, back to the first thing that I mentioned, go for versatility. Go for the freedom to get more functional team rather than just focus on one. Okay, and for Semmelweis, Vila, and Getian, I put them on the second row. That actually has a meaning. That's because these characters can be found in Euphoria banners at the moment. You can pull for Vila right now if you select her in the Euphoria banner if you haven't used it yet. And Semmelweis will be featured in the Euphoria banner in 2.8. And in 3.0, we will have Getian. So in that case, if you want to get them from the banner, because it's cheaper than other banner, like 70 pulls and you are guaranteed to get them. So you may not want to waste the paid selector when there are other means that are allowing you to obtain them. So let's say you want to form the new Nautica team. So you get Nautica, then you pull the Euphoria banner for Semmelweis, And then the paid selector, you go for, say, Fatutu or Flutterpage. And here about Fatutu, she is a very good healer for the Fuwa team, for the Nautica team, and is a particularly good choice if you lack of sustain. If you watch my beginner guide, you do need several sustain because like in Reverie, there's 4 stages, so you need to have at least 4 sustain. Although you can borrow 1 usually, every patch there would be 1 sustain in the assist, or maybe 2 sustain in the assist. You can use them, but it would still be better if you have at least 4 for 4 teams. And lastly, back to Barcarola, I think if you don't have the other Impromptu like Regulus or Voyager, Aleph, which you can't get from the paid selector, and then Keeperina, I think it's better to just keep Impromptu at this point. But let's say if you already have Aleph and Keeperina, it's not a bad idea to go for Barcarola. Alright, so anyway, that's all about the paid selector. Next is portrait recommendation, and here I'm talking about some of the portrait that can help you to enhance the rotation. First of all, Flutterpage. Flutterpage P1 give her additional turn or rounds for continuous action, so which means you have additional AP. From 4 it becomes 5 and it lasts for 2 rounds. This will give you more options to use incantation to gain more moxie and to generate gust stack for Flutterpage, which help to maintain the level 3 force field, because that is the point that you want to hit so that all your follow-up attacks will do crazy amount of damage. So Flutterpage P1 is my first recommendation. Second is Fatutu P2. So this only if you have Fatutu P1 and you want to upgrade her to P2. She becomes quite an important unit that you might want to consider. But if you are having Fatutu P0, then don't bother, go for other characters. Okay, so why Fatutu P2? Because Fatutu P2 reduces the requirement of her moving the spirit shells to trigger her follow-up attack, leading to more healing and more possibility to obtain moxie for free. Because every time the spirit shell moves, there's a chance she can get a moxie. So this will make her gameplay more passive, and you just need to use her buff occasionally so that everyone can share damage. For the next one here is Aleph. Again, here is if you already have quite a complete Impromptu, so getting Aleph P1 will increase continuous action to 2, which is the same as what Flutterpage does. But for Impromptu team, this can be quite important because Impromptu team sometimes a bit tricky that you need to keep using their ultimate, and sometimes it disturbs your rotation. However, while playing Aleph P0, I find it not too much of a problem, and I need to use his S1 every round most of the time. So in that case, you don't necessarily need P1, so I put him in the 3rd place. Fourth is Mercuria P1. Mercuria P1 allows her to get 1 moxie per round if any allies, including her, use rank 2 incantation twice. And after she outs, basically all incantation is rank 2. So and the out lasts for 3 rounds. So let's say during that situation you get 2 moxie, and then using any 2 of her incantation you get 2 more moxie. And if you are using her 5-star side cube, there's a chance that she can get another moxie when you use that 2 incantation, allowing her to regain her ultimate. And with all the rank incantation being cast, it is more likely that she also hit 25 stack of cosmic energy, which gives a tremendous boost to the entire party. But at the moment, if you are using her in the team that she can excel in, as in those that do a lot of rank follow-up attack, or the rank up team that just keeps spamming rank 2 or rank 3, most of the time you already get 25 stack of cosmic energy, right? So in that case, I put her at the 4th place. For the 5th place is Recoleta. For Recoleta case, it's not really she improving her own rotation, but with level 1 portrait, she get 1 additional preparation Recoleta, so that increased to 2. But the problem is, if you use the preparation Recoleta on Recoleta herself to trigger more ultimates, the subsequent ultimate after the first one will do less damage because she have used up her Moxie and the narrative stacks, so she won't be hitting that hard. So I would recommend, if you really go for this, use preparation Recoleta on other allies so that you can put all the AP on Recoleta. Then for the other ally, as long as their Moxie is higher, then they don't need to use any more AP. You just keep using Recoleta to trigger their ultimate. But again, if you are like having Melania there with all the passion drain and giving everyone Moxie, you don't really need to. So I put her in the 5th place. Now, let's say you're not worried. You don't bother about the rotation, or you have been using it and you feel like, oh, fine, I've been using Flutterpage and there's no problem. Fatutu as well has been a very good sustain even at P0. So instead, you want to make your meta team stronger. So here I divided it into the meta team that I mentioned just now. And the first is Ulrich P1 Dynamo. P1 increases the ultimate might from frequency analysis and also the damage reduction from structural analysis. So this enhances the entire team's damage. Okay, so, and Ulrich is pretty strong. You can make him your main DPS. So if you have this P1, he will be even stronger. And because there's no particular banner associated with him, so it's kind of difficult to get his portrait. So getting him from this Portray Selector is not necessarily a bad idea. In fact, it's pretty solid choice. And next, for Bloodtithe, you can consider getting Semmelweis P1, which increases the damage bonus based on missing HP. For follow-up attack, then is again back to Flutterpage and Fatutu. If you already have Flutterpage, go for Fatutu. If you already have Fatutu, go for Flutterpage. Then you already complete the follow-up attack team. And there's so many characters that can use them because there's so many follow-up attack units in the game right now. Next, for Aziel Poison, if you want to make his Genesis damage even higher, then Tuesday P2, because it increases the Genesis damage taken to 30%. And the critical resist rate is 25% and 30% if target has poison. So you will make Aziel Poison even stronger than what it was before. Next is Impromptu, so you can get either Barcarola P1 or Aleph P1. Aleph P1 because of continuous action +1, more rounds. And for Barcarola case, it increases the instant granted to Impromptu incantation for the round is increased to 2 when you use Cascade Arpeggios, if that is how it is pronounced. And after there's 3 quartet on the, is it 2 or 3 quartet? I can't exactly remember, but once you have buff up your team with quartets, then it will become 3 instances of attack, which means, yeah, Impromptu is going to hit even harder. Alright? Last and not least, Vila for Marcus rank up team. So this increases the crit rate and crit damage are increased to 30%. So for mental unit, it'll be 40-50%. And that is huge for Marcus. Alright, so that's all for this video. Thank you for watching and have a good day.